What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Agent Success interview. I've got someone very special for you guys. With me today, I have Luna from Philadelphia. Luna, thank you so much for being here today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Luna, you guys, if you don't know her, she is an amazing real estate agent out of Philadelphia. She is, I think, 3 years in the business. She's documented her entire success in this real estate business on her YouTube and on her Instagram channel. So make sure you guys go check her out. But what I wanted to do today, Luna, was walk people through your journey in this industry for the past 3 years, because you've built an amazing business. I've been following you. I'm a huge fan of yours. You've built an amazing business through prospecting, right? Through cold calling, through prospecting, through working on your sales skills. It's something that agents in our industry have such a hard time with because, you know, they always want the path of least resistance. They want to do anything but touch that phone, but you have been able to build an awesome business. So where did it all start? Walk people through how you got in the industry, and we'll kind of walk people through your journey.
Okay. So it's kind of a unique story because I was talking to Brandon, I wasn't from this country. I came here when I was 17 years old. So I came here for high school. I was originally from China. And, you know, coming from a different country always gives me a very open-minded, the way how I approach things is very open-minded. So I like to try different things and, you know, and then with the whole real estate, I moved to Philly actually the summer of 2017, and I was doing rentals at the beginning because I had no family, no friends. I don't know what I was doing. So I signed up with Keller Williams for a few months, and I was doing rentals. And I really appreciate the opportunity to start out by doing rentals because I absolutely hated it. And I worked out for 12 rental deals in 3 to 4 months. And imagine how much money I made. I only made $5,000.
Wow.
After doing almost, you know, like every day, working every day during the weekend. And then I told myself, I said, you know, that's enough. I should start by doing something that actually makes me money. So I switched to another brokerage. I went to a local brokerage and I started doing sales. So just like everybody else, I started working with buyers. I even purchased Zillow Premier Agent. So I started, you know, closing a few deals. And then I got this feeling like, when is my next paycheck going to come? Like, if I don't have a pipeline, what am I doing? How do I build a business? So that's when I started cold calling. And prior to on my YouTube channel, I actually filmed myself on Prep Agents YouTube channel to do a cold call. That was my first initial phone call. And then the second time after 7 months, pick up the phone again, I actually got scared because the lady was yelling me over the phone because I dialed the wrong number. It was the wrong address for her. So she was just screaming at me. And I went to the other room. I started crying because I was like, I don't know how to deal with this. Like, I need a script and I need to be more confident. But then after a few months passed by, I actually joined a prospecting group where I met a close friend, and they told me how to set up Mojo, and I have everything set up. I have my script, and then I get on the calls with a few other people. Then, you know, it was just history. So now I'm really good on the phone. I can sit on the phone for hours and just prospect over the phone like month after month. And I have a really solid database right now. I have about 200 contacts that's looking to sell in the next 6 to, you know, possibly 2 years.
Yep.
So it's keep building too. So now I have a pipeline. I know how to deal with objections. I also deal with for sale by owners too, expires as well. And then the referrals that I'm getting on social media, they're just icing on the cake.
That's right.
So yeah, that's kind of how things are with me. I know it's like all over the place.
That's all right. Well, let me unpack that a little bit, because you went from crying in a room to now you are, it's like easy for you. You can be on Mojo, set appointments, no problem. But there's a lot of time in between there. So let's start at the beginning. What had you first say to yourself, I am going to master my sales skills through the telephone versus trying all these different shiny objects that so many agents try? What was the decision point there that you said, nope, I'm going to build it through prospecting?
So with that, I think when I first started, I don't have any sphere of influence. Everybody wants to start out the easiest, right? But I have no option. So
Great.
that leads me to only phone, to only use the way that's the hardest. So I started also on the phone because I was broke. I have no experience. And I know phone is the efficient and the inexpensive way to build a business. And that's how I started. And I just print out the script and I just stick with the phone for the next 6 months. I didn't do anything else. I think that kind of leads me to do a lot better now because I have no option and I was very consistent.
Love it. Now, where does that discipline and that commitment come from? Because you had no sphere, you had no money, but a lot of people I see would quit. They go get a job, but not you. You stayed with it. You stayed committed. How did you persevere through all of that pain?
Yeah, so when I first started, I was also building my Instagram page as well. So I actually, my Instagram was doing a lot better before my YouTube picked it up and also my real estate sales. So I get a lot of hate, not like hate, but people are doubting you. People are doubting you when you are a young female. So at that time, I sometimes will hold a camera or do a photo shoot and people will say like, you're not professional. You're not doing professional things. But then to me, it's like, I am advocate a healthy fitness lifestyle also on the phone. And I feel like people have this, presumption of a young female can't do very well with real estate because it's hard work. So on the other side, I was just telling myself, I have to be successful. I need to prove those people who think I cannot be successful, they're wrong. So that kind of worked out, keeps me on the phone because I'm trying to prove people are wrong, which is, now I think about it, I'm doing it for myself. I'm not doing it for these people, but it feels so damn good to shut them up now.
I love it.
So that's kind of how, at the beginning, how like it really keeps me going. So that's part of the reason.
All right, cool. So that makes a lot of sense, right? I have a lot of that same motivation in my life, right? The way that I grew up, I came from nothing, had a bunch of people tell me I was never going to amount to anything. So that could be a good motivator in the beginning, but then you end up doing it for yourself. So I love that. So now you start persevering, you're in there. What lead sources are you focusing on? Walk people through some specifics. Your cold calling, FSBOs, expireds, is that kind of your lead sources right now?
So mostly I do cold for a farm.
Okay.
So in Philadelphia, there's Center City, where most of new construction luxury listings, houses are from 350 to $500,000, where my section that I'm focused on is in Northeast Philly. So the reason I'm focusing on Northeast Philly is because right now I currently live here, and there's a large Chinese population who are actually purchasing houses in this big surrounding area. So I'm also doing farming as well. I send just listed, just sold cards. And I also call this area. When I call them, I tell them, hey, did you know actually I sold a house 2 blocks down that way, and I sold it for $10,000 more than how much it was listed. And I got it under contract within a week. So that's actually the truth because I'm a local agent. I know the market like very well, and I can tell them straight up. I was like, your house, it's harder to sell because it has an oil tank in the basement. It's harder to sell because it's not a two-way street. It's only one way. It's harder to sell because buyer doesn't want to buy a road where there are a bunch of trees that's growing on the street. So there are a lot of specific, like the knowledge that you have that you developed over time. And I just incorporate that with me during prospecting. So when I'm calling people, I can actually provide them value. I can tell them, educate them on how much price you should put your home up for or what you should do. So that kind of gives me more a confidence level and also separates me out with other realtors or wholesalers that are calling them. They know exactly who I am. And right after I spoke to them on the phone, I send them a follow-up letter with my magnet business card attached. So after 3 months, I call them again. They will be like, oh, you're Luna. You're on my fridge. That's most of them they're saying. And that's amazing because they always call me back when they're ready to sell. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Good. So now you're calling through your farm area. You got some FSBOs, expireds going. What does an average day look like for you? Walk people through, how much prospecting you're doing, because in 2019, off air, you had a nice year last year, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
closed a lot of deals. How many deals did you close? What was the volume? What was that look like?
So including my broker split, I
Yes.
did 125,000. So
Awesome.
after all the expanding costs and everything, I netted about 91,000. I do have a video to separate how I get each deals on my channel. So wait, what was the question again?
Yeah. What's your average day look like? So you had a good year. What does your day look like? How much prospecting are you doing to make $100,000 a year? That's the question everybody wants to know.
Oh my God, my day is so boring. Okay, so I usually get up. I'm not like a morning bird. Like I don't get up at 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
I get up whenever I had enough sleep. So typically my day, I usually get up around 7 or 7:30. I get ready, I go to the gym. I usually have a boxing session or workout. I love working out. I work out 5 times a week. So either with a trainer, or if I have a workout session later on during the day, that's fine too. I try to get to work by 10, and then I end my workday around 6. So in between, what I do is from 10 o'clock to 10:45, 11, these are all follow-up calls. I don't do any prospecting, anything else. I have to get these follow-up calls first, because those are the follow-up calls that make me money. Those are the times I schedule my listing appointment. They're very important. So I do those, and then right after, I start going in with the newest for sale by owner, which is a for sale by owner that's been on the market for 2 weeks, and then also the new expireds. And after that, I go into cancel listings too. And then after I'm done with all these, I just relax a little bit, and then I stand up. I have a little desk on my table. So I stand up and then start doing cold calling. So while I do cold call, I usually add another YouTube video on the side. I have a dual monitor, or I do a just listed, just sold cards. So I like to multitask when I prospect, just do cold call.
Yep.
So that way it keeps me like entertained. I'm doing 2 things at the same time. And then around 1:30, I take a lunch break. And then after 45 minutes, I go back. If I don't have any listing appointment, I go back on the phone from 2:30 up till 6 o'clock. And that's it. That's my day.
So it's very simple, very boring, but it's very profitable. This is the hardest thing I have a tough time, Luna, explaining to my students is this is what it takes. Don't try to overcomplicate it. Your schedule is very simple, but look at the business and the life you've created for yourself through a very simple process. So I congratulate you for that. That's amazing.
Thank you very much.
So what is your approach when you're cold calling? Put FSBOs, expires, put that aside. When you're cold calling, people don't know why you're calling. What is your approach? Is it that you're trying to generate a lead and then following up with them over time, or what is your approach?
So we can do a role play. So basically what I do is I call you and I say, hey, this is Luna with Cannon Realty, just calling to see if you might be thinking about selling your house. And then you might say no. So I'm like, okay, well, any plans of moving ever? And then that person says, maybe. Okay, can you imagine yourself living your home this winter? I don't know. Okay, well, do you know where you're moving to? No, I don't know. Do you know in-state, out-of-state? Maybe out-of-state. Oh, okay, well, let me just send you my card. My name is Luna, and I'll give you a call in a few months, okay? And then that person usually says, yeah, okay, fine. Then, that's a warm lead because they don't know where they're moving to, but they have a rough idea of where they will be moving to. So that's a stronger warm lead, but that's still not a hot lead. If it's a hot lead, they will tell you specifically where they're moving to by what time. Then if they tell you by what time, you ask them, okay, well, if I have a cash buyer right now, how soon can you move out of your property? And they said 30 minutes. And then 30 days. And then you say, okay, well, let's meet. That's a hot lead. So every no or every yes, you have to follow up with the right question to more qualify. If they're not interested, you ask them the right question to find out why. Keep pushing, always keep pushing because there's always a reason behind it. That's kind of how I realize it.
I love it. I love it. And, because, most agents, they give up. They're so scared on that phone call. They get one little objection. Oh, they give you an excuse to hang up the phone. You've got to stay calm and keep asking questions because that's all sales is asking the right questions. Wouldn't you agree?
I absolutely agree. Yes.
Awesome. So that's the approach you take. Now, how much business would you say you're getting from follow-up versus first contact? This is another big topic. Would you say the majority of your business comes through follow-up or for the very first time you talk to somebody ever in your life?
Oh, I will say absolutely 85% from follow-up.
That's
and
right.
Follow-up time, it ranges from 6 months to almost a year and a half.
Yeah.
Maybe even longer. Yeah.
So what do you think, and I don't want to disrespect any of the big trainer, coach, or gurus, but there's a lot of advice out there that says, don't waste your time following up. If they're not ready to list their property today, throw it in the trash can. You obviously don't believe in that. You believe in following up, correct?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You have to follow up. And then it's very rare that you just call someone, they said, hey, I want to move right now.
That's
I want to move in the next day. And if they are actual seller, they might be it might be fake, or they're under a lot of pressure that they have to sell for cash. It's shaky. Most the legit nice seller, they always take time to follow up because they have to figure out how much they owe on the mortgage, where they will be moving to, who's going to help moving the furniture. So it does take time. So it can't be right away.
Thank you for that. I love that. So walk people through a high level follow-up system that you go through to stay organized, to make sure you're not losing any opportunities. What does your follow-up system look like?
So I use the Mojo triple line dialing system, and I use their CRM on Mojo to pretty much organize all my database. If somebody who's looking to sell in the 6 to 1 year, I put them into hot lead. So I give them a call pretty much every 2 to 3 months. At the same time, I send them my postcard every 2 weeks, just so my face is showing at their doorstep every time. The initial follow-up letter gives them my magnet card on the fridge, and then the 2 weeks all the time for the same postcard keeps showing up my face, reminding them who I am, and phone call or voicemail every 2 to 3 months. So that way, by the time they're actually selling a year, they've already gotten tons of postcard, tons of voicemail, and they have my face on the fridge, and they have to choose me if they don't hate me by then.
I love it. And are you always just sending the same postcard over the same
Always
message?
the same. Because if you send them different design postcard, it confuses them.
That's right. I love it. You and I speak the same language. This is so exciting for me. This is great.
Yeah.
So what postcard, are you sending those out manually? Do you use a company to do that for you?
I do everything manually. I'm so cheap. I'm like, no expense for me. If I can do it myself, I do it myself. I edit my videos. I edit my postcard. I do everything manually.
Cool. That's great. So let's do this. That you just provided a lot of value. What advice would you give these agents out there that want to build their business through prospecting, but the fear is so real for them, Luna? They just can't get over being uncomfortable to learn a new skill, to call strangers. What advice would you give these people?
Well, I think they need to first find out their motivation. Why are they doing this to begin with? If somebody who is a part-time agent, you're not going to call. Let's be honest. You're not going to call because you have a backup plan. So you have to really want it. And I'm telling you guys, the money is out there. If you do this thing right, you're patient, you keep doing it for 6 months, you have to make money with listing. That's absolutely, because it worked on me. And then also a tip is to get a coach. If you're really scared, you need somebody to help you every step of the way. You get a coach. I prefer a online coach, someone who can dedicate their time for you rather than a team leader. Because, a team leader or broker, sometimes they can be busy. They have other responsibilities. They might not be reachable when you call them. But online coach, I think it's a good way. Or just watch videos. Like whoever you trust on YouTube, just follow one person. Don't go follow all the coaches on YouTube because everybody has different ways of approaching different things. Follow one person and send them DM, try to connect with them. I think that's the best way to do if you're new.
I love it. That's great advice. Well, listen, I can't thank you enough. I mean, I think you have an awesome future ahead of you. You're doing such amazing things in our industry. And so let's end with this. What is your goal now for 2020? We're at the end. If you and I get on another video like this in December, what is your goal for this year?
So for this year, my goal is to get one listing per week. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do this with the epidemics, but I'm just like keep calling a lot now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully by everything is over, I can get like 2 listings per week or 3 listings per week. But that's a good goal for me right now. So, hopefully by then I can reach my goal. If not, it's okay too.
That's right. Well, thank you so much, Luna, for doing this. Make sure you guys go check Luna out. If you guys have questions for her or I in the comment section below this video, Luna and I can kind of go back and forth and answer some of your guys' questions with anything you're struggling with when it comes to prospecting, cold calling, and your sales skills. So, Luna, thank you so much. Looking forward to doing more with you in the future. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You got it. Talk soon.
All right. Bye-bye.